right, let me go ahead and hit start recording. We're ready to go. We're doing coaching. We got Sampsoid, the man, twitch.tv/Sampsoid. He's going to be coaching us in GT3 tonight at Road America in the Ferrari EVO 488 car. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and hop in Discord with him. We're just going to get it going here. So let's turn the music down and let's go see what we can learn from our buddy, Mr. David Sampson. Good evening, David.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm chilling, just vibing out over here. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Let's turn you down a little. All right. First things first. Might as well get straight into it. Did you accept the VRS team invite?
I did, yes.
And just a quick rundown of what equipment you're using. All your sim equipment.
Gotcha. So I'm using Fanatec VRS or Fanatec V3 pedals with the load cell kit or the brake performance kit in there. And then for my wheel, I've got a Thrustmaster T150, just the way it comes used off of B&H Photo.
Copy, yeah. And is it all mounted to something solid like a rig?
It is mounted to my desk. So there's a little bit of pull sometimes, but other than that, it's very solid.
Okay, and how about your braking? What is that mounted to?
That is bolted to this little wooden pedal mount I've made, and it basically, the wall keeps it from going anywhere.
Perfect. Okay. I am just going to throw up a session we can both jump into.
Sweet.
First thing for me to do, first of all, I want to make sure there's no, I don't want to waste your time with coaching when there's an underlying problem in something. So we're just going to do a couple of laps on the track, and then we'll park it up and do some comparisons and just... First of all, just to make sure there's no issues.
Love it.
First of all.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, session's going live now. I will DM you the password.
Sweet.
Okay, that's the session details. The session should be live any moment.
Sweet. I just found out recently iRacing passwords are not case sensitive.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's very strange to me they're not.
Yeah. It's not live yet. Any second now.
Boop-a-doo.
I'm just gonna move us rooms one sec just to make sure we stay on our own.
Sure.
Okay, cool. You should still be able to hear me.
Yeah.
I'm on session. So you prefer the Ferrari to the Lambo?
Right now, weirdly, I've just been a lot more consistent. I don't know, well, maybe that's not weird. I've been more consistent with the Ferrari. I prefer the Lambo, like, honestly, but the Ferrari's been, I've been keeping it on track more.
Session's live.
Sweet. Let me, there it is.
So how have you been getting on in GT3? Because I've watched a ton of your Skippy content.
It's mostly Skippy content. GT3. So Skippy boosts my I rating. If I just do Skippy, I end up being like 2.5k, something like that. But because I mix it with GT3, I'm competing with like the 1.7, 1.8k guys. But I'm happy to say that because I was competing with like the 1.4k guys a couple of months ago. So I feel like I've been figuring some stuff out and getting more familiar with the limitations that the kind of like driving assists present. That's definitely not present in Skippy, so that's something I'm trying to pay more attention to. I feel like I'm listening to the car more, so I guess that's important.
Yeah, excellent. So when we get in, let's just well, I suppose I can look at your stream, or you can share your screen in Discord. That might be a bit quicker because the stream sometimes has a bit of a lag.
Yeah, I can share my screen in the Discord once iRacing gets loaded up here. Yeah, so do you do like 3 of these every time you do like coaching sessions? I'm guessing you have like a couple days a week you do these and you just go bang bang bang. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, Thursdays are long days. Put it that way.
I figured as much. That's the way to do it, though. Efficient.
Yeah, well, I want to keep it balanced. I want when I'm doing coaching, I'm all about the coaching. I'm not about the streaming. And when I'm about the streaming, I'm all about the streaming. I have to have that divide, right? If my coaching became anything to do with my streaming, I feel like the quality would drop, and it would be for entertainment purposes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand that. It's hard to not like play a little bit for the camera when the camera's in front of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, I'm in. Let me share this in Discord. Okay. Stream iRacing. Ooh, 1080p. Oh yeah, you got that fancy Discord server.
All right, I see your screen. Let's go to options.
All right.
I just want to check everything over. Okay. And using the T300, you say?
Or T150.
Okay.
Cool.
Just on your throttle, can you go from 0 to 100 nice and slowly and smoothly? Nice, and the brake, same? Wow, your pedals have a weird sound effect. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So what we just do now, let's just do 2 hot laps. Let's just do an out lap, 2 hot laps. Don't focus on lap time or being quick as you can. Focus on just being your normal, consistent self. Focus on, doing your normal thing is what I'm trying to say. Don't
turn a couple laps. Yeah, sounds good.
Load the medium sprint for me.
Medium sprint, cool.
Medium downforce sprint, purely because it has a little less downforce, which will help expose any driving quirks. Too much downforce can hide things. So.
I feel ya.
All right, we're just gonna do a couple of laps.
Sweet. Oh, a little low in the car. There we go.
Your exit looks clear. Stay behind the line.
I'm going to close your screen because that's distracting. There you go. So you like this track, yeah?
Yeah, I like this track in the GT3s, and the Skippy, it's a bit long. I find the kink a lot of fun.
The reason this track's a good pick is we won't have to heavily too much focus on track specific things. This track has a little bit of everything, so it'll help me help you cross more of a wider range.
Nice, love it. Sounds logical.
I'm going to pull over, but go for one more.
Sure.
I'm happy with that.
You're in last.
Nice, bring it across the finish line, then you can park it up.
Sounds good.
That lap time was 2:07.88.
Alright, park it up till you get to you're actually out the car, so it says practice up above, because then it will start uploading your telemetry.
Cool.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now.
Sweet.
And while the telemetry is uploading, we're just going to look at your lines just so we can talk just about driving style. I don't want to, I'm happy to just focus on this track if you want, but I always prefer to, first of all, on our first coaching session, we need to look at your style, as it is raw.
Yeah.
All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
I can indeed.
Okay, so we're just going to blast through. I'll say anything if I can see it. All right, obviously we can be a little wider here, but that's not too bad at all. Obviously, the telemetry will tell me more, but I just want to talk about... All right, so you are suffering... There is something going on here with your pedals, because I can see the car really struggling for rotation, understeer, and then you get snap oversteer. So it's probably too much brake pressure and then throttle to try and fix it, but we will check the telemetry for that.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, the line's pretty good. So let's look. This is much better. Again, similar issue, but this looks like more overslowing.
Mm.
The car's too responsive at the moment.
Gotcha.
That's fine. So look. Yeah, nice. Just got to open the wheel a little bit more, because here you blew a lot of time where you was on the throttle too much with too much rotation.
Gotcha.
But no, that was fine. Your style's looking good, looking good.
Trying to drive it not like a Skippy.
This is the kind of corner where all that matters is how quick you come off of it, not how quickly you come into it. So missing the apex here costs a lot. Because, I struggle at this corner, but you want to be leaving now, not tracking out, waiting to throttle. You want your car positioned in such a way where you're nice and slow in, so you can be very quick out, because this section here is almost flat, depending on your line. Your line's pretty good. But this corner, the key to this corner is being on the white line, nearly touching the grass, and then nearly touching the grass. See, you're fighting the track out here.
Yeah, honestly, I
Noticed.
forgot about that corner when I got there.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, lovely. Yeah, yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, very nice. I'll watch this bit actually because I had finished my lap. This looks good. Here, we're going to find out that I
Yeah.
brake here.
Okay, gotcha.
Because, yeah, this corner's off camber and uphill. So all I care about is being on the full throttle now.
Oh, wow.
Whereas
Okay.
I know what you're going to be tracking,
Yeah.
50%, 60%, 100%. Whereas all I care about is being flat now. So I can
Gotcha.
straight line off the corner. Because this corner's horrible. It's off camber and uphill. So you'll always be fighting this one. I loved how you took this corner. You could have done with having your right tyres a little bit further over.
Mhm.
Because, well, you still took it lovely. But you could have taken it even lovelier.
Gotcha.
That's brilliant. That's exactly how you take that corner. Here, very nice. Yeah, all right. Telemetry time. Yeah, bear with me. Hide my overlays. You can see it okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, T1. You are red. Have you used this software before?
I've used Garage 61, which is similar. I know how to
Okay,
read
so-
the charts at least.
Yeah, throttle trace, brake trace, difference in car position, how much time, top speed.
Gotcha.
We're going to focus mostly on this for now. We can get to force feedback and stuff if it needs be.
Mhm.
Okay. So your peak braking is low. Now, I am an early light breaker. Bear that in mind. I promise I'm not a late breaker, and I'm certainly not a hard breaker. Now, of all the GT3s, this is the one you want to break the least in, hence why my peak threshold is around 67%. If I was in a Porsche or a Lambo, it'd be more like 75, 76, 77 maybe. But you are braking way too light. Now, bear in mind, from here to here, notice on the map, we're traveling in a complete straight line. So we have no fears of anything happening. You could have gone to 90%, and apart from the car squirming a little bit, nothing would have happened. Because when we're braking in a straight line, we can get the most out of the brakes.
Mhm.
Now, of course, you do want to stay off the ABS, but where that really matters is mid-corner. Obviously, I try and stay off it in a straight corner, but you need to definitely brake stronger. We'll check other corners. This might say we're looking at one corner in isolation here.
Gotcha. So I'm too scared of the ABS. Got it.
Yeah, but let's see the other problem. So basically, let's just cover the braking philosophy. We brake as hard as we can in a straight line. And then when we go to turn the wheel, we need to be rapidly reducing the brake pressure. And then mid-corner, we want to carry a little bit of brake pressure through with us to help keep the nose low, to give us more rotation. Now, it looks like you were tempted to early throttle because you overslowed. We actually come into the corner 36k different. So looking at throttle trace will be a bit inert right now.
Mhm.
We need to first of all fix your braking amount, and that will lead to later braking. Now,
Gotcha.
notice I don't care. I don't want to push you to like brake later. I want you to focus on nailing your brake phase, and then that will teach you to brake later. That's what I always find. People try and out-brake themselves, but that's not the best philosophy. It's learning how to get the most out of the brakes, and that will set your new braking position. But we'll see as the session goes on.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, so let's skip ahead a corner. So here I brake a little heavier, 77, but you still 62%. And I am noticing a little hesitation here at the low end. It doesn't seem much though. It's only slight. But remember, you do not need to fear GT3s up to about 60%. There is no fear to be had, especially if we're braking in a straight line.
Gotcha. Wow, I did not expect fear to be an issue, but that seems to be an issue. Got it. Yeah, I guess I'm just scared of hitting that ABS. I need to keep that in mind.
Your mid corner, you give up the trail a little early. Your trail braking.
Okay.
Just deciding if it's a mistake. No, you really. So notice the mindset here. We've got a lot more of the. If I show you the way our cars are pointed,
Oh my god.
we've still got quite a way to go on the corner. Your mentality is to go to the throttle. My mentality was to keep the trail in. See, in GT3s, it's the brake pedal that's the quick pedal, not the throttle pedal. We want to be pointing the direction of travel more than we want to be having RPMs in our car. So the throttle pedal pushes us, gives us understeer, causes us to late commit to throttles. Whereas the trail braking, I mean, I didn't nail this corner, but trail braking helps us get the nose pointed. So, but the theme at the moment is early light braking for sure. I mean, it's cost you up to this point a second and a half in 2 corners. So yeah, you on the next lap we're going to practice not necessarily braking later, but I want you to brake with much more commitment at the high end because your brake trace is actually pretty good. So it could be we could just change some settings on your pedals and fix this. There's always a software route we could go with all this as well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I'm glad the issue is very visible. Easy to fix. Well, hopefully. Jeez.
Yeah. See, again, we're seeing this early throttle over and over and over again from you, but it's because of the speed difference. Actually, you took this corner really well. Yeah, really, really well. But again, we are heading into one of the hardest corners on the track, and you're only braking 56% for a sustained period of time when we can brake so much heavier. Okay, let's just try and get through. This is better, but we are. It's because I'm braking light. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of trace throttle here. This is good as well. If there's a shelf at 75, 70 to say 70 to 80%, that means you're just testing out the TC. So that was. This is you. Yeah, it's very nice driving.
Thank you. Doing what I can.
Whether you meant to or not.
Yeah, I think I did. I hope so.
Hey, I'm only joking. So yeah, this is a no brake corner. This is the corner you mentioned about. Definitely no brake, and I only lift to 30%. But my line is wider than you. We've got to be wider on the way out, tighter on the way in, and then let your car track out.
Gotcha.
Again, we see the difference in philosophy here. You, at this point on the corner, as you can see, we're early into the apex. You are trying out the throttle in 3 stages, here, here, and here. Whereas I'm choosing the brake. I would rather keep 8% braking than have 30% throttle because I'm trying to make sure I hook up, always making sure you hook up exits. I know we say slow in, fast out. Again, I didn't nail this corner perfectly, but the mentality stands that I want to have my lines perfect and have my car rotated enough so where I don't light up the tires at any point. Because obviously it's all good, well and good looking at that lap over 1 lap, but obviously races are 15, 30 laps. So we want to keep the tires nice and cool. So we always want to be throttling, traveling the direction we're going, because you can see here you're throttling when your steering wheel is.
Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't make it easy. There's no point talking about this corner. This is a unique corner to say the least. A little confidence lift through the kink. Let's just have a look if our lines were different. Yeah, it was just what we call a confidence lift.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It probably didn't need to be that severe because you
Oh, yeah.
You do lose quite a lot, so it's amazing how it's such a small difference. Okay, this is the corner with the Uno reverse. Everything we've talked about. There are corners where the reverse is true.
Gotcha.
So let's get to it. This corner in particular. This is a very tricky corner that doesn't look it. So you're braking here. So I'd say visibly, we've got this break in the shadow, not too far back from the 3. I am definitely braking around here,
Mhm.
around the foreboard. And it's purely because it's all about when we get going. It's amazing how much. So it looks like I'm giving up so much on the way in for just a small gain on the way out. But it's how far the way out carries you and how off camber it is that gives me these 3/10 in one rather inconspicuous little corner. But you want to, like I said, the priority is always to nail your racing lines and get to that throttle. So if we look at my throttle trace, you'll see where I position my car. Now, I only did one lap, so what I say and what I do might be a little different. I'm trying.
Yeah, I feel you.
But the idea here is for me to be tight to the left. But where's my throttle? Come on. Here. So I start ramping it up because I trust my track out. And then I get to full throttle. I didn't actually let the car track out as much. Oh, no, I suppose that's the maximum there, that grass. What you're probably doing is carrying too much weight here, too much pressure, and the car's tracking out. And it is things like this and laps like this that do heat up your tyres a lot. And this is where you'll be losing a lot of performance. And not to mention where mistakes will happen at this kind of corner. It's key to identify these off camber corners, especially if they're uphill. The car's going to bog down. The car's going to not be comfortable making the corner. So if you're carrying extra speed, which you do on entry, you're carrying 13 more than me on the way in, even though you're overslowing, because I just want to get the car slowed down. And notice the difference as well. As we're approaching the corner, I really want to be ramping down my brake pressure to help us turn. So as we discussed earlier, that's the key, right? We brake as hard as we can to the comfortable amount in a straight line. Then for turning, once we start turning the wheel, we want to be ramping down our, as you can see, quite literally see here, as I go to turn the wheel, it's almost like my brake reduction is tied to it. I start ramping down the brake pedal because I want the nose to be nice and light on the way in, so I'm not carrying tons of understeer. Whereas when you're turning in, you do ramp down, but it's just not on the same level, right? It's not as rushed.
Gotcha.
Careful of this. So that shelf you created earlier, around 70-80%, is where we balance before the traction control. Doing things like this cause things like this in your steering.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're turning left for a right-hander.
Makes sense.
Yes, so you can peak, like I said, like 75, 77. You did it earlier without, like I said, without even probably thinking about it. Here. Exactly 75%, where the TC is, so that you didn't have any snap, your steering's nice and smooth, and then when the car's ready, you ramped it up and finished it off. So, right, let's look at the corner. I said you did very well. And as I suspected, you're nigh on my pace. You did this really well. If you'd have opened it up a little bit to the... Hopefully I do it. Really get up the curb.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then on the way in, hopefully really get on... Well, I've missed it by an inch, but close enough.
Yeah.
And then on the way out... Actually, my way out wasn't as good as yours. You was carrying quite a lot of speed. That helps. On a high-speed corner like that, those couple of inches on the outside... mixed with a couple of inches on the inside means I have a lot more traction. I can have less wheel input, and things like that really help you carry speed at sections like this of a track. Now this corner, talking track specific for 1 second here, all that matters here, we'll talk about that in a minute. All that matters here is hooking up the line to get onto throttle commitment as early as possible. So I think you did pretty well here. So you open it up on the way in. We need to get across this curb. I would rather touch this grass than miss my throttle point.
Gotcha.
As you can see, I'm really taking limits because it's a very long straight. So we have to be carrying a lot of speed. We have to open our wheel up. Everything has to be focused on delivering no tire spin and getting our power all the way down the straight. See, this is our difference in commitment on the brake. Essentially, because of your arc you have, we are braking very similar amounts for the timing. So we're both at 50-odd% at the same point, but it took you too long to get there. So you're braking early, but giving away a lot of speed. And I'm not saying you're going to be hit from behind, but it doesn't help that you're 7k slower into the You know, like we've all been tapped from behind.
Yeah.
It was such a small tap and we wish it never happened. Well, I'm not saying go quick. I'm saying it helps if these commitments are far. Now, this takes time. It takes a lot of time, but just bang it in your head and remember, up to about 60%, it doesn't really matter how hard we get into the brakes at all. And it really does help. It really does help with your confidence, tire heat, stopping power, and you will start pushing your braking points later and later and later as you get more and more confident with the philosophy of later braking.
Mm-hmm.
Again, here you can see where you tried. What was it, 91%? So you probably felt your steering. Yeah, your steering.
I think I had to correct. Yeah.
Quite a lot at that point, and then you re-steer. So you just got to be careful with your throttles. As you can see, you started throttling probably before the car was due. You can tell that because you come back out of it, and now we're in a almost what I call the pointless zone. Unless you can get to that 70 mark quickly, or I only get to 60, so mine's not perfect either, but unless you can get significantly high, it's not worth doing because all of this is creating understeer, and it really isn't adding to the goal of all this speed down here. If anything, it makes it harder to hook up your line. It's going to mean you're later to keep commitment on your throttle. So it's definitely something to worth tidy up.
For sure.
Now, so the first thing, let me just look at the overall lap. So yeah, the first thing that stands out is the amount you're braking. It's one thing for us to focus on how quickly you're braking, but the other standout seems to be the amount you're braking. 54% at a difficult corner is not enough. You know, the amount of times you've probably gone long in that corner, or it's almost like you're doing it like this to make it easy for yourself, so you don't cause problems. But the problem is doing it this way is making it hard on yourself and causing problems because you're carrying your brake way too long. You're slowing down too early. It puts cars behind you in a awkward situation. We've got 25 speed variable before the apex and 36 on the apex. So I'm not asking you to brake later. Let's just focus for now on your brake commitment, like getting this line to ramp up fast and to try and brake a wee bit heavier. The rule of thumb in iRacing that you never need to brake above 85%, like for any car really.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, out of all the GT3s, this is the one we brake the lightest in because the ABS and the fronts on this car are not great. But I would still say 70% is acceptable. If you was hitting 70% of these corners, it would not be a problem. I'm hitting 77 in the second one. Let's have a look. Also, I want to see you carrying the trail a little bit longer. You seem to give it up for the throttle. And as I say, your initial commitment here is about 50%. Whereas if it was, say, 75% that you initially committed to, I might say you made it work, but...
Makes sense.
The good news is your pedals seem well calibrated. Top, bottom, you've got your dead zone seem perfect.
That's good.
Let's take a quick look at the force feedback. No. So something's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So this is telling me that at this point in the corner, you would have no fidelity left, i.e. if there was a snap of oversteer, you would not feel it.
Gotcha.
Because let's say, where are we on the track right now? All right, we're mid-corner of an apex, and let's say the car snapped or the rears went. Mm-hmm. How is it going to tell you? If we're at 99.75 force feedback output, it can't tell you anything's happening.
Yeah.
So we are clipping, or we'll look in a second, but this is not good because, as I said, there's no information left to be told. Like you see here, I get a spike. Mm-hmm. Imagine you having that spike. Well, it can't.
Yeah.
Let's just see if that's Yeah, okay, so you're banging up against it. I assume we're mid-corners. Yeah, we're mid-corner. This is all low-level stuff. Here again, I assume we're mid-corner. Yep. Okay, so we're going to do a few things. It might take a little while, but it's going to be worth doing.
Cool.
If you go into your iRacing settings for me.
Will do.
Because I noticed a few problems with the way you had your wheels set, but I had to see how you was going to drive with it. So T150, you say, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, we need to do two things. Okay, so I think you want to set your wheel force to 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, and also we are missing 2.6 is okay.
Okay.
All right, min force is definitely something that's wrong. The bottom bar, your wheel isn't able to provide 100% torque range from 0 to 100. So what's happening with you having your min force at 0? iRacing's telling you things that your wheel can't tell you. I.e., let's say you're bumping a curb and it's sending a little percentage. A direct drive would oscillate that and we would know. Your wheel can't provide that lowness, so it's numb.
Oh, wow.
Bear with me a minute and
Sure.
I'll get you an app. Because unfortunately, every wheel is made different. If you bought two T150s, the min force would be different on them both because it's just the way they're made. I did a video 2 years ago on YouTube about this.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to DM you a link.
Ooh, old forums.
Old forums, yeah. Once you're on there, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a download for the wheel check 1.8.2.
Gotcha. Downloading, unzipping. And it's all right. I have it up. Let me switch.
Okay, sweet. Now you see it says max count in the bottom, in the middle. Go up
Oh, got
in
it.
the middle of the app. Change that. Oh, are you showing your screen so I can see it?
Oh, hang on. I can show. I think I'm showing iRacing in Discord right now.
If you just change that max count to 200, it's okay.
Okay, gotcha. Max count 200. Got it.
All right, and now the next thing. So you need to keep your hands away from the wheel.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what we're doing before we do it, because this is always the confusing bit. We're going to change spring force, that drop down, the second drop down to the top, to linear. Man, I can't remember. It's like step 2 linear force test. When you click that, yeah, you was hovering on it at one point.
Oh, got
Step
it.
log
Found
2
it.
linear force test. So when you click that, I want you to then shut the app when your wheel starts moving, or just after your wheel starts moving. So you're going to hands off the wheel, change it to that, wait a while, and then after, say, 30 seconds, your wheel would start moving, and then we're going to shut the app.
Okay.
And then let me know when you've done that.
Yeah, I clicked it. I'm just waiting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good.
Step log 2 linear force test. Yeah. Oh, it did switch. Okay.
You didn't need to be that quick, but sure. Okay. Now go to documents. We're going to look for a CSV file.
All right.
The root of your documents will be like a... Oh, man, it's been 2 years. I don't remember the name of the file.
Let's see what I can find.
It's a long CSV name with a date, time attached to it.
Here, let me.
If you share your screen, I can take a look.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. Discord, share screen. Change windows. This one. Oh wait, that's not the one. How do I even share just my screen?
When you share, you need to change away from applications to screens at the top.
That makes sense. Okay, there we go. All right, this is what I'm looking at in my documents here.
Right, yeah, scroll down. Keep scrolling down. Keep going down.
It's a mess. I know.
It's all right. Keep going.
I'm at the bottom.
Okay, go up then. So
Yeah.
Oh wait, nope, that wasn't it. Keep going.
Oh, log
There you
2
go.
2022. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. All right, scroll down for me. Ooh. You need to run the test again. Keep that file open.
Okay.
Run the test again.
All right.
Let it vibrate for a little bit longer this time.
We'll do.
But yeah, I mean, your wheel is quite old, I assume.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Remember to change max count before you did the linear force test.
Gotcha. 200.
What this is doing, if you're interested, this app is sending signals to your wheel, and your wheel is ignoring them. That's what I assumed iRacing would be doing. See, right now, right this second, it's sending force feedback to your wheel, but your wheel isn't even moving. So what it does is it's trying to determine when your wheel can start feeling things.
Hello, Mr. Wheel.
Let it vibrate for a little bit this time.
Gotcha.
But if you left this on overnight, it would get up to 100% and stay 100% all night, banging around like crazy.
That's amazing.
Not on a direct drive, it wouldn't be. Your rig will be upside down.
Oh, yeah. One day I'll go up to the direct drive world, but me and this little T150 have been getting along all right.
Well, you're going to love your new settings when we're done.
Oh,
yeah, you've been clipping quite badly.
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, shut the app.
Okay.
All right, and then bring up the documents, and we'll take a look at the... Okay, so that one was 16.5. Let's look at the other file. There'll be another file in your documents.
All right. There it is.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, this wheel is up. I'm no doctor, but this wheel has seen better days.
You're not wrong.
Wow. Okay, so your min force needs to be a whopping 23%, I'm afraid.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. That's okay. You've only not been feeling 22% of your force feedback before.
Oh my god, if I get a new wheel, things are gonna change. Well, okay, new stream goal, just so everyone knows, new wheel. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so now head out for me. Let's go on to track. But the problem is your force feedback is going to probably feel lighter because we changed your wheel force was set to 1 when your wheel force is actually 2.6. So head out. Let's just see. I will be watching your F bar.
Fun.
Yeah. Does it feel heavier or lighter?
All clear, opposite exit.
Actually, it feels a little heavier right now. Noticeably heavier. Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's turn that down then. You can turn it down in the black box because you're clipping already.
Okay.
Yeah, bring that down. Let's do a couple more corners. We need to get to a comfortable level.
All right.
So we can compare the telemetry. What you will notice is more detail at the low end, a lot more. No, that still needs lowering.
Lowering it down. I feel a lot more little stuff going down the straightaway.
Excellent. How heavy does it feel to wet before I started?
That felt kind of similar to what I was feeling before going around that corner.
Alright, bring it down a couple more clicks then for me for 12.0. If it was similar, I'd still rather go down.
Gotcha.
Alright, excellent. Park it up and I want to reset the telemetry.
Sweet.
And let's go do an out lap and a hot lap.
Cool.
And then yeah, we can use this as a comparison.
Sweet.
Obviously, if you want to think about braking harder and with more commitment at the same time, that's up to you.
Sounds good. It feels very good. I think it's a little bit lighter than it was before, but I'm feeling new things. I don't know how to describe it. Just new things.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so the way you had your wheels set up, it was a little bit running a little bit too strong, plus 20-odd% of all force feedback it was receiving, you wasn't feeling anything. So
that's insane. Oh my goodness.
Is quite important. It's not in the direct drive world because they're all zeros, but in the belt and gear driven it's very important because especially a gear wheel, it can't give you the 0.7%, so there's no point trying to request them.
I feel ya. That was definitely new. Trying to get on the throttle earlier in that corner. Wow, the road actually has texture. There's bumps and stuff. Oh yeah.
So you use all-time optimal lap.
Actually, I normally use session optimal most of the time.
Yeah, I would use session optimal sector.
Gotcha.
You shouldn't ever drive knowing how good a lap it is, because then you're only practicing every 2 minutes. You should be racing every sector. So if it's a bad lap and you screw up sector 1, you still race sector 2 and you still take something and learn something and adjust something, rather than you see people trying a lap and in sector 1 they're like, oh, never mind, and they finish the entire lap just wanting to get round, start another one, and that's a waste of practice.
I agree with that 100%. Makes sense to me. Oh my god, this corner doesn't make sense to me though. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, just bring it home in a hot lap. We just need to test your force feedback just to check.
Gotcha.
It's fixed. Still on the high side, I'm hoping it's...
Yeah, it feels different. It's gonna take a little getting used to, but yeah, you're right. I can feel more. If there's one way to describe it, there's just more there.
Good shot. That was a 221.73.
Alright.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let's make sure you're out all the way to the practice button.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little few seconds to upload. Yeah, I didn't expect to see your force feedback pegging the whole way through the lap, I have to admit.
Me neither.
Let's see, it's there. Yep. Okay, cool. So blue, red. Let's get to mid corner. All right, so you were at 99, now we're at 88, 90. So the only thing we could do now would be less force feedback, but if you're saying it already feels lighter, but now at least we have some headroom. Let's just
Gotcha.
check the rest of the corners. A little bit of headroom. None there, though. Let's see what happened here. Did look like you lost control. So, you was on the clutch. Wait. Oh, you was turning the car around. You'd crashed. Okay.
Yeah, that's when
All
it's
right.
fun, I think. Yeah, makes sense.
You're allowed to be pegged if you crash. Okay.
Force feedback's not an
here you
issue
were-
when you already bend it, I guess.
No, nothing more to learn, I'm afraid. Here, look, we're crammed against the 100%. Now we have a little bit of headroom. So all you could do now is reduce the strength, but all you're doing is taking away force feedback now. See here, we get, look, we're on this. This is the crazy section. This
Oh,
long
okay.
corner, you were pegged with no fidelity left. Whereas notice now, see this before looks flat, right? Here, notice the nuance difference between here and here.
Yeah.
And this was, let's see, in your steering, you catching a small little knock in the wheel.
Oh.
Here, you would not have felt the difference because the wheel was already shouting at you all it could, right? There
Yeah.
was nothing left. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, if there was something happening, there's nothing it can tell you to fix it because there's no force feedback left.
Yeah,
You
I
were
wouldn't have
completely
felt that
maxed out.
whatsoever. Yeah.
No, not at all. Okay, you hit 100% here. Let's see what's going on.
I also almost lost the car a second time. That may have been there.
No, just the high speed.
Yeah.
So this, if you was at a Rouge or something, this would, even with your current settings, it would hit 100. Although I do know it's a jolt there, so I'm going to let it go. Look, there's a huge jolt there, so I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, it's tight. You probably could do with one more click off of your
The force feedback.
current current strength. Now let's just compare against mine just to see. Yeah, so you can see I have tons of fidelity left. I'm not really going over say 50% fidelity, so I have way too much room. But yeah, this looks good. This is fine. You have headroom now at least, so we fixed that.
Sweet.
And you say you said you quite liked the feeling.
Yeah, it feels a little more in touch with the road.
All right, let's see the rest of your iRacing settings then. If you go back to iRacing.
Sure.
Okay, so strength. Do me a favor, click the word strength. Okay, you can click it back. Minforce. Wait, was Minforce 21? I thought it was 23. Go back to the notepad file. The second one. 23.
Okay, so change that.
Yeah, change that to 23. That might help.
22.8 or wait, there it is.
Yeah, perfect. All right, go to sound for me.
I really like hearing the tires.
Yeah, same. It's good. That's I'm confused. Your speakers are set to a Yeti mic. Are you using a headset that comes out of your microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go Go to options for me. Just flick through some of those. Just want to check a few things. All right, cool. Let's get back to the braking then.
Cool.
Let me just look at that lap you just did, because I know you were half thinking about it. I know it was a slower lap. Let's just check it.
Yeah, I was trying a little bit.
Okay, so we did brake later. We did brake harder. This isn't bad. I would like to see you step the rotation down, because look, as you're turning the wheel here, you are still braking, say 48%.
Okay.
Which will feel understeery. You want to ramp it down faster and then catch it with a trail brake, so you don't have to come off of it. Remember, going from this to this like you are, the way you are, shifts the body weight. You shift the body weight from the front to the rear, and if you're doing this while turning, you get understeer turns into the rear slipping, and then if you're rear slipping as you go to throttle, this is why the car snaps. This is why you get this change in direction on steering. So this is why we trail brake. This is why we transfer the body weight slowly off of the car, is to keep the transfer of weight smooth from the front to the rear. So obviously when you're braking, the nose is really low. When you start coming off the brake, the nose starts coming up. And if you come off too rapidly, I say we transfer this understeer that we would have. Well, it's not too bad. I'm just exaggerating the case, but we want to make sure this brake is ramped down nice and smoothly.
Gotcha.
We had an accident, I think, in this corner.
Yes.
But you did brake with more commitment, and you did brake harder. It looks... Again, you gave up the trowel, and we haven't even turned yet.
That would explain the spin, probably.
Well, no, you tried to throttle.
Yeah, that I meant trying to recover from that. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we brake as hard as we can. We sustain it. We start reducing when we go to turn the wheel, so you're reducing too early. This part of the curve is reserved for turning the wheel, and then we transfer to trail braking mid corner, and then we throttle. Well, let's bring up mine for comparison on the blue. Okay, so you can see the phases I'm going through here. My threshold, my getting to my peak. This is for my turning. So as you can see, my wheels started to turn. This is me carrying it through the corner. And then this part here is me transferring the body weight nice and smoothly to make sure the car's nice and poised. But notice where my throttle point is aimed for. It's when I can see sunlight and I've got the car under control and I'm where I need to be. You started gassing. What I'm trying to get at, you started gassing.
We haven't even in the corner yet. Like,
yeah. Exactly. You should have been starting to reduce your brake pressure by now. Now, I think I know what caused this. It's because you fixed this, because you're now braking with intent and braking harder.
I was going way slower than I expected.
Yeah, you now need to brake later.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So don't expect this to be fixed overnight. It's going to take seat time. But because you're braking so well now, I mean, that arc is, if not more upright than mine, you get to a good brake pressure this time, not 55, 56% like before. You're sustaining it. So yeah, this arc that you've formed has dropped your speed so low, you were 40 below, that you tried throttling before turning, and yeah, that was
never gonna work. Yeah,
never gonna work. So let's see elsewhere. Let's go back to you versus you. Okay, again, you broke late, heavier, sustained. You started reducing for turning. The throttle distance is quite a lot, but this is an awkward corner. That's fine. You stepped it to the traction amount like we talked about. This is great. And then you stepped it up. That was nice. Remember, you don't need to brake for this corner. You just need to. Right. It's more about hooking up your line than it is the pedal work. You can keep your pedal about 50%. You don't need a brake, but it is committing to the line. That's the most important thing. Well, that's funny. The line's the exact same. This is fine. You made the corner. Again, little things like this don't help as much as you might think. This little... Having that not there would have probably resulted in your top end of your throttle being here rather than there. Because this is just pushing the car.
Gotcha.
I would rather see you that be there on a trowel. I'd rather see you always wanting to trowel through the corner to then have this throttle, even if it was at the same point, but it got to 100 earlier. Remember, this is an important fact. The difference between here and here is a lot of speed on the way out. So always try and trowel. If we swap... Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Just the mentality of carrying the trowel. Okay. Well, these are all very samey. And... Okay, so we are braking heavier. This is good to see. I think you're going to shave a lot of time off. Remember... Yeah, so let's see. I mean, how do you find skip? I mean, do you have braking issues in Skippy? Because I want to... I'm nervous to touch... Usually I would adjust people's software and make changes on the pedals. But I'm nervous because you drive different cars. Obviously, it's difficult for me to...
Yeah, with Skippy, I mean, what that braking line you see right there is as a result of Skippy driving and me kind of tuning in my Skippy braking a little bit. So, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I get you.
That's where I found I'm able to... that style of braking gets me quick traction in the Skippy, which, you know, obviously the quicker I can slow down, the quicker I can go fast.
Yep. Also, I noticed a setting on your car to do with your mirror. Your field of view was set... Did I see it 120?
I have not touched it. Let's take a peek. So that's probably true.
Graphics.
Graphics.
Yeah, look, your virtual mirror is 120. Have you never noticed that cars always look far away in your mirror and then it always looks like they're dive bombing you? Every single person.
I just kind of got used to it. No fear.
So what 120 is almost like far objects appear further away and close objects appear closer. So there's no middle ground. So cars will always seem a second back and then a 10th back.
Gotcha.
I run it at like 55.
Oh, wow.
And it keeps that. I mean, they look a 10th back, 3/10 back, 5/10 back. It's more easy to gauge. Right, so I want you to head out. We do need to do a lap on your new settings because I want you to focus on braking slightly later. I want to get all your speed off in a straight line, and then I want you to try and carry the trowel through the corner. So all of this, remember, you will be able to brake later. I know it's not going to be easy to map new braking points, but you braking more efficiently with getting the pedal down quickly, sustaining it like you do, plus the trowel brake will mean you'll be able to brake later.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm not... I just want you to understand the mentality. I don't want you to brake later because I want you to brake later. I want you to brake later because of the new things you've learned. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. That way I don't have that issue where I'm trying to throttle before we even get to the corner.
Yeah. I'm not a big advocate of late braking. I'm an advocate of early braking, hooking up your lines and clean throttle.
Makes sense to me.
That's what speed is in GT3. Remember, easy with your throttle application above 75%.
Gotcha.
And if you're turning the wheel, you're reducing brake pressure. If you can't, then next time you do the corner, you need to either take off more speed in a straight line or brake earlier.
Gotcha.
If you're carrying 40% through a corner, you'll get understeer.
Oh, just like that?
Yeah. And remember, the smoother you come off the pedal, that little bit of trowel brake at the end, the smoother you transition from brake to off the brake, especially mid-corner, will help balance the car and keep the car lower at the nose, which again turns are easier. 50% throttle through there.
I remembered the no braking part. I forgot the
Yeah.
no full throttle part. I feel like it's really easy to heat up the tires through there.
Remember earlier braking there so we can earlier throttle.
Gotcha.
Very nice. That's looking good. Alright, you can park it up.
06.52.
You improved by 1.3 seconds, so I'm hoping to find some good telemetry.
Woo!
Business. Yeah, well drove, mate.
Thank you.
Let's take a look.
Just trying to focus on what you're saying.
Sometimes I can't focus on what I'm saying.
I feel that.
Oh, I've been a bit hasty overnight. It's probably not even uploaded yet. Oh, it has. Brilliant.
Nice.
Here we go. You're definitely a good listener. Look at this, right? So we're braking very late. We're braking with, I mean, perfect. That's absolutely perfectly committed. Look, there's no hesitation. The line's as straight as it can be. You carry 70%, which is fine for the Ferrari. As we start to turn the wheel, the moment we start to turn the wheel, you start reducing the brake pressure. Transfer quite nicely here. We're looking at blue, by the way. Blue's the fastest one.
Gotcha.
Red's the old you. Your commitment to the throttle is ace. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't think you're used to carrying this much speed because perhaps you could have been a little bit more snappier to the throttle, but because look, we actually track in less than your red line, so we could have
Oh wow.
carried that little bit more speed. But just say you're dealing with a whole new, you're coming into the corner 16 kph faster now.
It felt
So
a lot different. It was kind of scary.
Yeah. We'll look at the force feedback graph in a minute. Actually, let's look here. So mid corner, force feedback, the old U 99%, the new U 84. So this is very clean.
Nice.
So you see these oscillations. This is the perfect example. See this oscillation in force feedback
Oh,
here?
yeah.
You experienced?
Yeah.
Now look at how you was feeling it. There was your fingertips probably wouldn't have even noticed the difference.
That's the more I'm feeling. Makes sense.
Correct. Yep. All right. So you broke later with more commitment. As we turn the wheel, you rapidly reduce the pressure. You get onto the throttle around traction control amount. Perfect. And then you ramp it up nice and early. Earlier than you ever have, actually. This is the earliest you've got to 100.
Wow.
Again, the car could have been tracked out a little bit more. So again, even though you're carrying this newfound speed, you could have probably ramped it up a little earlier to 100, but that's just seat time now. But again, look, you left room for track out. This looks great. You carried more speed down the straight, all the way down.
Woo.
So at this point on the lap, you are almost 2/10 up.
Nice.
You pick up another 1/10.5 in this corner. Again, you broke late, you broke committed. Foot's getting a bit tired. I'm seeing some vibrations.
I'm not used to breaking that hard all the time.
Right, you're ramping down for steering. This is great to see. This is a brilliant habit. Again, I would like to see, I think with this newfound speed, you could ramp down a little bit quicker and transfer it to a trail brake rather than, look, it's fine. This is more sort of LMP2 style. It works, but you will find the car being more balanced from here to this phase of the corner.
Okay.
If you was to just sort of ramp down quicker, which will help with the understeer, and transfer it to you've seen my lines, transfer it to a bit more trail.
Yeah, you've got a little extra trail at the end.
Yeah, I always have a little extra at the end. This was a good track out. Yep, this is very nice. Okay, broke a little early. But this is a tricky corner. You made the apex.
Oh, that's the uphill one. Yeah, that one terrifies me. Yeah.
All right, so this is why I wanted to talk about this corner. I said I don't want to get track specific, but I want to talk about this corner. You was 0.8 quicker. You carried throttle, no brake, and your line was really nice. That was perfect. Actually, just watch that. Your line was. I'll show you. Your line was absolutely spot on. Could have been a little wider.
Okay.
And be careful of this way of doing it. I mean, I always like people to line it up early because you come swooping in, and then as you get there, you turn. So you're never really straight. Notice this is decreasing,
yeah,
and now it's increasing. The problem with doing that, it's fine for 5 or 6 laps, but this rear left is having a lot of load put on it right now. And if anything was to happen, this car, it's going to want to come around on you. So try and, I mean, praying I did something good. Try and not load up that rear left as much as you are.
Gotcha.
There you go. So I get there early. I swing it in. So I'm driving straight, and then I turn. So the car's nice and flat, and I'll get less understeer because of it as well.
Gotcha.
So always try and set the car up straight. But yeah, 0.8. Cool. Now we do lose here. Yeah, so this is great. I prefer this. I know you're slower, but I'll explain why. But this is better looking. You brake later with more commitment. You sustain a higher pressure. You ramp down faster, and you hold a little trowel. It looks like you overslow.
Yeah, I remember I had a lot more exit to use on this corner.
Yeah, you're overslowing at this portion of the track, and then why is the throttle? The throttle is slightly delayed as well.
Yeah, I think I just took it weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so you didn't track out as much and you overslowed. But this is what I'm happier with. Here, look, you can see there's not on the red line, it's very little commitment. You actually ramp up the brake later in the braking phase than you do early, which is never a good sign because we want to get our slowing down done earlier rather than later, because the later we do, the more chance we have of carrying understeer through the corner. So here you can see you have in the blue, you have your higher sustained pressure, 77, and at this phase, 69. That's good.
Nice.
Here you've got 60, 68. So, you know, the new way is cleaner and better, and you took less steering and put into the corner as well. So this is what I talked about tyres. So this is a win all round for me. Just, I'd like to see this curve moved to about here.
Gotcha.
And then you could have two-stepped the throttle like you did here to 70% and then stepped up when you was confident, but it's fine. It's a big improvement. Right, we're 0.3 quicker through here, and I know why. And it has nothing to do with your throttle brake or anything. It has everything to do with this was your force feedback before, which you might as well have been using an Xbox controller because you wasn't feeling anything.
No, I felt very dead going through that corner, and now I was like, last time I noticed, I was modulating the throttle based on what the steering wheel was telling me. That's helpful.
Yeah, you're absolutely pegged on the red, and now you've got a 20% headroom. This looks good. It's not the kind of corner I like to go through telemetry. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
All right, 0.2 quicker here. You didn't need the confidence lift. You're obviously very liking the force feedback. I think that's the first time you've done it without a confidence lift.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, we lose 0.2 here. What happened? So you listened, braked early.
Probably didn't throttle early enough.
Like you made the apex. Let's bring in my lap. I'll replace red. Maybe you broke too early. Yes, you broke too early.
Oh, okay.
So, wait, am I? I'm red. Okay, so yes, you broke earlier than I did still. Pressures are right. Reductions are right. Yeah, you just overslowed. You was never getting this back. Here we go. Look, you're 20 kph down for too long, and you actually exit the corner really well, but it does not matter. You've lost too much time, so you're never getting that back. Yeah, so I prefer, like, again, just somewhere in the middle then. You was braking way too late, now you're just way too early. Somewhere in the middle will be the Goldilocks.
We'll figure it out.
For sure. Yeah, you're getting fast very quick at this corner. You're where there's nothing between us, and I think you would have beat me had you not you touched the grass on the way in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's compare. Okay, you broke later, more commitment. Let's see this though. Yeah, you're carrying too much brake pressure in while turning. You're turning the wheel, and we've got 33% pressure in.
Gotcha.
Whereas before we had 16. But you're slightly overslowing here. Hold on, what's happening? You brake later. Oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Slow here. Wait, VRS is stuck. That's what's wrong. Okay, ignore me. We're a 10th up. Sorry, VRS was stuck. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So remember before, it almost was like you was braking at 50 odd because you wanted to make it easier on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What we've done now is made it easier on yourself. You're 7 kph slower at the apex, but 15, 16 on the way in, and you're matching the way out. So what I'm saying is the cornering's easier now and under more control. And this is what we've been talking about. Nailing your lines and nailing your hookup points for the throttle is so much more important than how much you carry at the point of apex. Look how clean your line is here on the blue. You had no risk of tracking out onto the grass or anything. And you can do this over and over and over again. But you was a 10th up in the corner. So this is what we want to always focus on, is a good throttle delivery, a really good line, and getting your braking done at the right time with the right amounts. This is the key. If you'd have came in like you're doing with the red line, where you're early, slanted, not as committed, and very unsure, and your trend of early throttle especially is not a good thing, because we don't want to be quick at the point of the most difficult point in the corner, right? This is the the point of the corner, we want to be committing to the throttle like you did with the blue, not teetering with the throttle and pushing ourselves with understeer and tires. You know, this is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how much you steer less. If we compare the blue and the red, you're under more control and you're carrying more gas, but you're steering less. Which again, 10, 15 laps time. This is the kind of things that that'll pay dividends.
Nice.
And but yeah, overall, really good lap. Let's just look at your brake lines now. Bear with me. Yeah, this is much better. This is much better. So the amount you're braking's perfect now. Yep, that's a really good lap. Where are you? 2:06.5. Let's just pay the lap through quickly. Just a quick scrub just to see.
Okay.
Done so many laps. I'm just trying to remember them all. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, this is fun. So you're apexing really late. What I tend to do at this corner, if I show you, hopefully, I did it again, hopefully, is I like to enter on that apex and use the inside as almost like a trail through. Here we go. So apex a lot earlier than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I get on the apex to open up the corner the whole way. I mean, I'm a bit dangerous with the grass there, but you can see the philosophy's different.
Yeah.
I want to throttle and push out. I want to be throttling. Here you go. I'm onto the throttle already, ramping up the throttle, ramping up the throttle, ramping up the throttle, ramping up the throttle, and then I track all the way out with the throttle. And it gives me that kick down the straight. Whereas the way you're doing the corner, which is safe, but the problem is with your late apex, it does mean a late throttle because you're never going to throttle until you make the apex. You're not going to be tempted now. You're going to be tempted now you've made the apex. Whereas because I came in, and this helps pull you round, right? So this is, I'm not saying it's cambered a lot, but it does help you pull the car around. Another trend I've noticed with you, you've got to, obviously you need more seat time with the new way of driving, but you've got to let the car track out. Notice the fronts here.
It's still turning.
Really, yeah, you're still fighting it. And look, you don't
need to be. Yeah.
No, exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
So let's have a look. You do take a bit of a risk. Is it here? No, you're okay. It was one of the laps you was getting dangerous with this exit stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like me. I can get way tighter there.
Yeah, it's fine. As long as you let it track out, it's fine. This is a very difficult corner. As long as you make the apex, that's the key. And push it out. And this is the best you've done this corner for sure.
Just line up that brake, or not the braking zone, the non-braking zone more.
Again, you fought it a little hard on the way out. You're definitely going to lose time doing this. So notice if you watch your curve, you get to a good track out point, but the way you bounce back is unnecessary.
Gotcha.
Whereas
I just need to open up the steering a little smoother. Yeah.
Yeah, the fastest direction of travel is always the way the car's pointing, not.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah. Wait, what corner was we talking about? Oh, this one.
It was this one, yeah.
Hopefully I do it. I'm praying. There you go.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
So I'm letting the car track out, I know I've got time, I'm not turning. Now I just give the wheel a little nudge, and I come back in just across the grass a little bit.
Ooh.
But, yeah, I'm not... Well, if you go across grass and your wheel's straight, you feel nothing. The reason people spin is they're turning right, trying to, like what you did here when you was doing this bit now.
Yeah.
If you'd have touched grass, you'd have hit the wall. Whereas like my car, it doesn't even lose any traction because my wheel's straight. So just always focus on letting the car do its thing on track out. Always.
Gotcha.
Don't ever be in a rush, especially this corner here. There's not much room, but again, I use a little bit of grass. got to let the wheel. You're very smooth on the way in to corners, but you've got to be that smooth on the way out. Is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
It's a mirror, right? You waste the corner if you're all smooth on the way in, but then you snap it on the way out. Because yeah, this corner you are brilliantly smooth on the way in, but watch you aggressively snap.
Yeah, that's not good.
So yeah, this is the corner where you lost. So this was a 10th.5. You overslowed and under accelerated, and that's why we're so far from. We're a car length and a half away from where we want the car to be.
Jeez.
We won't analyze this corner. Pointless. Such a track-specific corner. Again, you're doing that thing I mentioned. So notice you're moving towards the point you want to turn, and when you get there, you move away. Which again, if something happens, or you touch the grass, or anything happens, you'll spin or get it wrong.
There's more track there to just open it up a little earlier, yeah. And then you don't have to swing it out.
Yeah, no swinging. So notice I like to get the plank. So as soon as the curb's there, I get on it, I keep it nice and straight, and then I turn once.
Gotcha, that's a lot simpler.
Yeah, and you see people dying here. I do go on the grass, but again, it's just keeping that wheel straight and not fighting anything.
I
think I know all the controls, but I still don't find it easy to jump between people.
Oh, yeah, I have issues too. It's like V or Control V or something. I don't know.
Right, so I think you brake too early here. Yeah. So we want to be probably the rear of your car at the foreboard.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice blimp. Yeah, so we're braking here, whereas you was braking here. We want you here.
Gotcha.
So the rear of your car at the foreboard. So you've completed the foreboard, and then let's see.
I'm still swinging it out a little bit, even like after braking for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is good. You let the car track out, but it is. I don't want to say fake. I'm saying it's almost unnecessary. You're doing it after the fact. You could have throttled definitely a lot earlier, up to 75%, and opened the wheel up now rather than so late. Because obviously here we have a lot of track. You can use up to here as long as you track back in before. Well, you can cut a little bit, but you can't cut a lot. This corner you need to know. This is brilliant. This is how you be quick in a GT3. Yeah, you did grass to grass, and then you opened up the wheel. And this is the reason you're 0.023 seconds off my time. It's because you'd left no time on the track. This is what we're talking about.
Cool.
Track out. So that was perfect.
Sweet.
Yeah, you underbraked here by the looks of it. Your priority here never would be to carry speed, right? Unless we're in a Formula car or an open wheel or something like that. Your priority here is to hook your line up so perfectly that we're early throttling. But you're trying to carry. The exit was really good, though. Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
All right, so pedals, force feedback, driving line, telemetry. Is there any, before I think of anything else, is there any questions you've got, anything you want to ask, anything you want to cover?
No, honestly, you're kind of hitting the points of the questions that I had, which is what's going on. I mean, the main question I had was what's going on with my braking, because I knew something weird was not optimal there. So, yeah,
for sure.
You've already answered that pretty intently. Seems like we're getting somewhere with that.
Yeah, so obviously I always let these sessions just naturally flow, so I would always try and find something that's wrong. So for you, it definitely was the force feedback the most, which was hurting you. That's why you're feeling the low end of things now.
Yeah, that's helpful.
You seem quicker, but not just you seem quicker, you seem more comfortable.
It feels better in the corner. I mean, it's like you were saying, because there's less speed in the middle of the corner, you don't need as much speed in the middle of the corner. It feels more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's easier to repeat, and you'll be quicker. You won't overheat your tires as much as well. That is the difference between the faster guys and the slower guys. when you might notice your 1 lap pace is say 3-4 tenths off, and then when it comes to race day, you finish the race 22 seconds off them by the end of it. It's because they kept their tires and that level of performance over a higher sustained period of time.
I have that issue often. Yeah.
So that MinForce app you used for your force feedback, that 23%,
Yeah.
I would run with your wheel, the condition it's in, I would run it every 2-3 months and get a new. Yeah, because your wheel does seem degraded.
It doesn't have many more years on it. Let's say that.
Yeah. So bring up your iRacing settings for me. I just want to just flip through. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, perfect. Now, I assume you're single screen.
Yes.
And I assume 45. I assume you have your screen quite far from you.
Not quite far, but I mean, it's not very big. It's like I think it's like a 24-inch, and yeah, unfortunately, it's as close as I can get it right now.
Yeah, okay. Because obviously 45 is the lowest official FOV.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, we're not using custom car control, so this force feedback settings will transfer to the Skippy.
Cool.
So you might have to do a different strength profile. I don't know. I don't hop between those type of cars.
Yeah.
Actually, hop in the car. Actually, I want to look at. I'm going to jump on your stream and just have a look at your in-car position.
Okay. I'm in the car.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, you've probably been told it, but you could do with a larger monitor or getting that monitor closer, a lot closer.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'll get an arm and I'll just bring it like sitting on top of the wheelbase. I think that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I can touch my monitor from holding the wheel. That's how close.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for that.
Triple 32s with that, so the FOVs I can see behind me. The closer the better, because it's gonna give you're lacking a sense of speed. Is the one I don't usually mention sense of speed, but 45 FOV you will be lacking a sense of speed, which doesn't help. Let's say you're side by side braking next to somebody when you haven't got all your visual cues and markers. We do rely on sense of speed.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this: what do you think I should do first, wheel or screens? Figured that was the answer. Both, boy.
Yeah, just can't you have Christmas and birthday on the same day?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, let's try some lead follow. I will follow you. I also want to look at your. I do find it remarkable you use 120 field of view with a single screen.
I'm just so used to it. I'll probably play with it, but yeah, I'm super used to it.
Pit exit's clear.
I need to close your screen up top. It's really distracting. How are you at closely following others?
Honestly, I usually feel pretty confident chilling behind someone.
Okay.
Not very confident in that corner, but... Oh, yeah.
Alright, we'll get this lap done, and next lap, I will try to make moves. Just show me all your defensiveness. I want to see how you defend.
Okay. I need to get on throttle way earlier there.
That's right, this isn't Fifi fixed. I'm not going to just slap you in the arse.
Go ahead and hang out over here.
That's what I would choose.
Later.
Go on, you're good. That's what I was saying about sensor speed.
Yeah, makes sense. Whoa. That's a little bit of the track there.
Watch the track limits.
Oh, yeah, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And we're back.
Alright, I'll let you follow me for a bit.
Alright.
On your right. Win. Deleting is just 208.78.
Got it?
Yeah, I'm good. Just doing what you said, boss, using the inside of that corner.
Alright, a little bit less than that.
Will do.
Alright, go down the right.
Okay.
Let's do some side by side.
Cool.
Hold that.
Go there.
Even the kink.
Go there, you're door. 62 times quick. Go around that. Go there.
Oh, lordy.
Alright, yeah, your perspective seems nice, mate. Let me just hold there for a minute and show me. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. Look at your screen. Man, change your V mirror FOV for me. Just try it.
Okay, where are we going? Like 100? You want to go lower? 90?
Go all the way.
Oh, all the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're going all the way.
55. Okay. Okay, there it is. Oh my god, you're so close.
You just for a little bit.
Oh god.
Go, go, go. Alright, so I'm gonna hang back, right? I'll be a second back. We'll go relative. Yeah, I'm 2 seconds back.
Okay.
But the approach will feel more natural.
Gotcha.
The way you have it is
unnatural.
Too high a stress level. You can't have an empty track and then someone alongside you.
That's how I live my life, David.
No, no, no. That's too much stress. Okay, what am I now? 1 second back.
Okay.
What's your shift point in this car?
The yellow light.
Excellent.
Turn!
Sector 1 is 0.35 of the pace.
Okay, now 0.8 of a second. This is when your mirror will feel more beneficial at judging what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna send it.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of already see what you're saying. It doesn't feel like you're exponentially getting closer to me right now, which is what I'm
Exactly,
normally
yeah.
seeing.
Yeah, your driving's looking really good, mate, and your braking is a ton better.
Thank
You
goodness.
seem so much confident through the high-speed stuff.
That'll be helpful. For sure. Ugh.
Just remember the priority is throttle.
Oh my god, I'm not used to seeing a car like that. I can see your freaking face.
I am quite close.
Oh yeah, I got a 0x.
Your right. Still there, man. Still there. Sector 3 is 0.2 off the pace. Still there. Clear.
Oh, excellent. Let's take a look. Stuff.
Cool.
That was fun. You was
That
fast.
was.
Your defense seemed good. Obviously, you can't be fooled for the inside fake send and then you late brake because you're giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. My advice is when these being overtaken opportunities are happening, late braking usually isn't the answer. Always want to hit your marks. I mean, late braking's hard enough, but doing it in a situation that's high stress on top of what you're already doing is it's never gonna. If you could brake later, you would all the time, right? That's how I always think about it.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not going to help in a moment of crunch where you're third, holding off fourth, and you've only got 1 lap to go, and he's sending it, braking 5 foot later, you're gonna outbrake yourself and fall to 7th. So I'm not saying give up the corner, fight the good fight, but don't overdrive or do something stupid. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's good advice. I tend to want to try and, like, especially like when you're going on the inside of turn 1, like normally what I'd be trying to do there is brake as late as possible so I can sit next to him in the corner. Honestly, just because I like driving, I like racing, so that's something to keep in mind
and
for
remember,
sure. Yeah.
the best way to get them back is off the corner, and the best way of doing that is hooking up your braking, hooking up your line, getting on throttle at the right time, and then, yeah, fingers crossed in the next corner you can be the aggressor, not the one being aggressed.
Yeah.
And obviously, you always have to take into consideration the draft you're getting and all this extra speed you're carrying from the battle that's ensuing.
Gotcha.
Okay, and how did you find the mirror? I'm not saying you have to go 55, but the exponential stuff won't help the close battling. No way.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stay at 55, but I can see myself sitting at like a 70, 75. So
Okay.
you've done something.
When I was close, I promise no one's that close. I was really on your car. But yeah, I want you to just get rid of the like you said, the exponential. It's fine having them closing up on you a little bit, but not to the point where they're almost out of visible range, and in the corner, they're completely alongside you. That's what I
Gotcha.
want to avoid.
Cool.
Right, is there anything you want to go over? Anything you want to cover? Because we've burnt up so much time covering everything else. Is there anything you want to... Any questions, any settings, any advice, anything? You can ask anything you want, and I will, under obligation, answer.
Well, I guess so. Sometimes I like to drive the Lambo instead of the Ferrari. I guess what's the big difference between those cars? What do I need to be thinking when I'm switching?
So the benefits, you get better brakes, i.e. you can brake later and harder. That's
Okay.
a good thing. The other benefit is you get more natural rotation. So
Definitely.
coming into Apex is better. Point 3 is it's a lot sexier.
yes, it is.
No, okay, so the downsides, and it's a big one, and it's the locking of the diff. It's the snap oversteer you get.
Oh, is that when I freaking spin the car into a wall coming off of Radeon?
Yeah. Yeah, so the key with the Lambo, so when you're moving from the Ferrari to the Lambo, is we talk about how we trail brake and we manage that weight shift from being on the brake to off the brake.
Yeah.
The Lambo and the Audi and the Porsche, you need to understand that you need to transition off the throttle. If you come off of the throttle, so if you're mid corner and you come like any sort of steering input and you just come off of the throttle, that weight shift will want the car to spin. Like you can try and catch it, but it's very difficult. You can overheat the tires, and if it's the Audi, for example, you will spin. So it's about what's called not locking the differential, and what it really does to fix it, you just transition you off your throttle slowly on the entry of a corner. So much like how trail braking works, but think of it the opposite way around with the throttle. As long as you're smooth with that extra trail that I always do, if you do that with your throttle, then you won't notice the problem.
Gotcha. It's kind of like a
Well, I
stock
say
car.
problem. For us, it's a problem. For the pros, they utilize that crazy amount of rotation and balance it mid corner, and that's how they're so quick, right?
Oh,
that's why
wow.
they don't. That's why they don't drive the Ferrari. That's why the Lambos, the Audis, not all tracks. If it's Monza or something, that doesn't apply. But tracks like this, where rotation's king, you won't see lots of Ferraris. You'll see lots of the mid-engine car. Anyway, the Ferrari's a weird car. Unfortunately, it is the more rookie end of the GT3s in the driving style, and its biggest issue is if you step up to 40-minute races in this thing, you need to be careful of cooking the fronts.
I was about to say, I cook them every single VRS race. Every single one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're just going to get slower and slower and slower as the race goes on. Braking gets harder and harder and harder. The Lambo, and you're not going to have that problem. Well, obviously you can, but it doesn't have that inherent driving style of overcooking, cooking the fronts.
Gotcha.
The brakes, like I said, in the Lambo, they're better. You can brake harder, but the Ferrari is the most forgiving. There's no shadow of a doubt.
That's definitely why I've been driving it, just because I've been losing it less. But I've very much been feeling like if I switch to the Lambo and just be a little smoother with my inputs, I feel I can get more speed out of it.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if I'm jumping in a race, I always just pick the Lambo. That's my go-to car. But I understand the differential, and it's a good car. The Lambo would be a good step up for sure, but yeah, there's no rush. It's not like you're gonna feel the immediate effects of a couple of tenths on a lap, because you won't. Over a race distance, though, if you are smooth and you look after your tires, then of course you will see an improvement.
Gotcha.
So how long of races do you normally do? What is the format you normally race? The fixed, the VRS?
I normally do the VRS sprint races for GT3s, and then I do IMSA as well.
Okay, so how's your fuel saving? How
That's something. So I'd say my journey in VRS has gone from like about 6 months ago not being able to finish a race to like the past couple of months I've been starting to be able to keep up with like the leaders and stuff like that. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to think about strategy and things like that. So any advice you have, awesome. Basically, what I've been doing is if I'm in a battle with somebody, in IMSA especially, I just get behind them and just chill.
Yes. So that chill, if you add fuel saving, then especially at your iRating, if it's something you can... I wish I'd started earlier on fuel saving than I did down my journey of iRacing, but I started late. But yeah, if you're behind someone, you have that mentality of chilling, rolling up behind people. That's what I was doing to you just then. That's how I was able to follow so closely to you, was not using the throttle, because all that mattered is I hook up the exits and use the draft to pull back behind you, right? I was rolling in behind you so that I could not overbrake, not underbrake. I could balance it a ton more. You know, I could have a... When you brake in front of me, I've already taken some kph out of the car. My nose is already a lot more dipped than it would have been if I'd have been pegging the throttle. So this saves the brakes because I can brake later than I normally would because I'm rolling, and it saves me fuel. Now, the drop in the clutch, I'm sure you've seen everyone do.
Yes.
The only reason you're doing that is not for fuel saving. It's for stopping the engine braking. So, like, the long straight down the hill, you know, with the heavy braking zone, because that's a fast straight and you're going downhill, if you lift off the throttle and drop the clutch, you don't lose any speed. You are rolling at, 250 kph, going downhill. You're probably still speeding up. If you, however, was to leave the clutch in and just lift off the throttle, your engine would be braking. You would be slowing yourself down. I'm not saying a lot, but that's the big reason the pros and all the everyone fuel saving does it. It's not for fuel saving. It's for maintaining a high level of speed. So this is where you say, if you're chilling behind someone and you're on a straight, if you come off the throttle and drop the clutch and roll behind them, and you can do this two straights, every lap, you could potentially pit a lap later than them for 2-3 seconds less than them, which would probably bring you out ahead of them, which is beneficial. So the clutch dropping, though, does need to be practiced because you need to put that clutch back in for your braking phase. The big reason is, otherwise, when you go to brake, you're going to notice one thing's missing, and that's your engine braking. You won't... It's just the brake pedal. You don't have the engine helping you slow the car down. The other thing is you must never come back off the clutch. If you've dropped the clutch, you can't just lift the clutch if you're steering, because if you don't do it smoothly... Now, I don't lift the clutch smoothly. I just yeet off of it. But that means I can't turn. If I'm turning, the car would spin out like Fast and the Furious movie style. Out. It would be very dangerous because you're putting 6,000-7,000 torque on the car mid-corner, so it would spin. So I would advise you to practice fuel saving, but for you, I would practice it in the sense of how you can lift and coast without losing any time.
Gotcha.
And that might sound like a fairy tale, but I promise you, if you come rolling into a difficult corner, like the bottom, like a few corners here at this track, then you'll find it's easier to brake. You can brake later. So you get that almost what you lose, you get it back.
Okay.
Now, if you're following someone and you've practiced this, then you are printing money, because following someone, you get the draft. When you're rolling, you're traveling exponentially quicker than you would have been on your own. So yes, fuel saving, I would start young. I wish I'd started at 1.7 of fuel saving, I promise, because you're going to be able to do things that you can't do on pace alone. If you're chilling up behind a guy and you put no stress on him, you're not showing your nose and you let him just do his thing, but you're fuel saving the whole time behind him, he pits, you don't, you do one more lap, you pit, you're 3 seconds less in pit lane, you come out, you're ahead of him, and now he is completely confused. It works. And it, to be honest, in your splits, it would probably work a lot more than you realise, because it gets chaotic right on pit lap when everyone's pitting on the same lap. Imagine being the guy that drove past pit lane and pitted on their own.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And coming out of pit lane on your own ahead of 2 or 3 of the guys you were battling. And the other strategy is obviously tyres. I know 40 minutes isn't 45 isn't the longest race in the world, but like you've seen with the Ferrari's fronts, learning to keep those tyres in a good window pays dividends the last 10 minutes of a race, big time. Because you're usually trying to either defend or gain a position, and if your tyres are hot and worn, then you not only are going to be slow, you're going to make a mistake. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
looking after them for sure helps.
Makes sense to me. Any other things you wish you'd known at 1.7K?
Yeah, tons actually, if you want to get into it. Overdriving, keeping calm. I promise you, keeping calm, keeping your arms and shoulders and relax, reminding yourself every lap to relax, because the more you relax your hands and less death grip, the more force feedback you get. Now that might sound like a myth, but if you're death gripping your wheel and the wheel tries to move 1% left and right, you are too strong right now to feel it. That small nuance of 1%.
Yeah, I'm definitely stronger than the T150.
Yes, exactly. So if you're nice and relaxed, yeah, keeping calm. I always used to overdrive, and I regret that so much.
I get so excited.
And qualifying as well, it took me a year to learn. I always qualified with the mindset of trying to go as quick as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that's what you do in practice. You practice going quick as you can. Quali, you should turn up, lower your fuel, and do the lap you know you can do. That's the mentality you should have. If you want to go faster in qualifying, you go faster in practice. You practice going faster. You don't try and go faster in quali. Quali is an important. You use the lower fuel and your practice to put a lap together. That's the mentality you should have. And I promise you, over a season, you're going to notice a huge difference if you apply that. If you're full send in quali, you are not going to put the lap together, because, I mean, if you could do that, you could do it in practice, right? If that's what I'm trying to say. You're never going to throw a Hail Mary in quali. There's too much pressure. You're trying too hard. You're throttling too hard. You're braking too hard. You're steering too hard. You're tense. So all these things play against you. So if you can keep calm and put the lap together you know you can do, that's how you quali. And if you ever feel like you need to quali quicker, that's where practice comes in, not try hard and in quali.
Makes sense. I'm not Max Verstappen. Got it.
No.
I have to tell myself that every now and then.
I've never had to tell myself that.
I forget.
No. And the other thing is, in T1, I used to try to be the nicest guy, give space, always being the politest one. And unfortunately, nice guys finish last, because if you leave a space on the inside and you're trying to be kind, people dive into it.
Yep.
And not just that, they saw you do that. 4 people behind you saw you be Mr. Nice Guy into T1. So guess what? On T3 and T4 and T5, they assume if they send it on you, you're just going to move out their way and let them take it. So the mentality you need is act aggressive, but be kind. Look like... Right, question. How many people have you let by because they look stupidly aggressive?
Quite a few. Countless.
Yeah, so act stupidly aggressive. That's the mentality, right? Act like an idiot, but drive calm and precise. So, you know what I mean? Like, we've all let people by because they look too aggressive.
Yeah.
And we've all sent it on guys because they look too kind. So don't be Mr. Kind in T1. Take your corner, act aggressive, but don't be aggressive. Be as aggressive as you normally would, but don't let them mentally beat you before the race has even started, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. I mean, one thing I've started having so much success with is pretending to make a move and just watching them fly off into the... Well, hell, you did it to me like a little while earlier. So I've been working on that. That seems to work.
100%. It does work. Pretending, retaking your line. It's an art form, and it's beautiful when it works. I smiled when I did it to you.
I'm sure. I knew it was happening when it was happening too, and I couldn't stop myself. Well, I mean, you answered all of my questions, so I don't know if you have anything more you wanted to say today, but this has been amazing.
Oh, good. It's been nice working with you, mate. You apply yourself very well. I've done hundreds of coaching sessions, and I mentioned 5 or 6 things to you, and in one lap you applied all of them. So you need to now just self-coach yourself for a bit in the sense of looking at your telemetry, thinking about what you want to achieve at each corner, being your own critic in going back through your laps in far chase, checking that you widened the corner, that you tracked out enough, and try and focus on the small things. Don't focus on big things in practice. Pick something small, get comfortable doing it, and it pays dividends in the race.
I can absolutely do that.
But yeah, you've done really well. Your pace looks really good. So yeah, just got to keep on keeping on.
I will do that. Thank you so much for all of your insight and experience, David. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, it's been fun, mate. Yeah, and thanks for booking with me, mate. And I hope you I hope you enjoyed it. And obviously, any questions of any of the settings we've changed or anything really, just chuck me a DM, and it's never a problem.
Gotcha. Will do. Thank you so much, man.
Nah, dude, it's my pleasure. See you later.
Later. Cheers.
Later.
Woo! That was awesome. Hi guys. I guess I can talk to you guys a little bit now. Yeah, I was trying. Sorry, I wasn't reading chat or anything there. I was kind of like peeking over at times, but really I was just trying to focus, trying to maximize our time with David. He's a busy guy, so to be able to book him for a couple hours and learn, shit, I feel like I learned a lot there in a very short amount of time. That was so helpful, especially how much he broke down what was going on with my braking. First of all, fixing the force feedback, godsend. I knew it was kind of up high, but I didn't realize how much of an actual problem it was causing, where I wasn't feeling stuff in the middle of the corner. So him messing with my settings and lowering that, there is a little bit less strength than I'm used to, so that's going to take a little getting used to, but he's exactly right. I'm feeling a little bit of those bumps and stuff going through, especially like that big old round corner. I was able to modulate the throttle based on what the steering wheel was telling me, whereas before it wasn't really telling me anything there. So that was nice. And yeah, the way here's so it felt very, very, he was on it immediately, basically where the time was being lost. The main thing there being the application of the braking, just too early, too soft. I need to be confident. And with the confidence, I mean, I don't even need to try and brake later. It's just going to have to happen as I turn laps, and I get used to hitting the brakes hard and fast like I was. Because that after he said that and I went on track and I started like really concentrating on just boom, hit the brakes, and then the car just kind of like it was so much more settled going through the middle of the corner, because we had done our, like, you know, it's like he said, we kind of set things up to be a little slower in the middle but faster on entry and faster on exit, so it was more comfortable in the middle of the corner. I've kind of felt like I was gliding through there, and just was able to zoom out because the car was settled, because I was just getting the car slowed down a lot better. So that was oh my god, that was so helpful. That was well worth it. Shout out to everybody that donated to get that lesson. Quite a few of y'all threw stuff in. Big shout out to all about the gyro. He made a significant contribution to get this lesson going here. So thank you. Yeah, really, thank you guys. I think this is going to help a lot.